Hello everyone, welcome to Turkish Coffee Reader channel. My name is Marie, and today we're going to find out what the Coffee Cup Grounds predicts about the upcoming events in 2026. This is a reading for the collective of humanity. I'm based in North America, but I drank it on behalf of all of us on Earth. What the future holds in 2026. Wow, at the beginning and start of the year, I see lots of wavy lines, several X's. Uncertainty and complexity dominates the start of the year. I see neurons here that suggest mental activity and information overload, or perhaps some technology and complex decision being made. I see big cityscape. Urban centers are focus of the energy, politics, finance, social movements in major cities. I see hand mirrors like a need for self-reflection and accountability. Individuals are reassessing themselves. Early 2026 is mentally and socially intense, and decision must be careful because mistakes will be costly. I see opportunities exist, but clarity is limited. January is the ignition phase, and I see the energy is restless. Politically, city centers are tense. Policies and authorities are being questioned, and decisions are complex. You can't trust on the accuracy of the news that you're hearing. In terms of wealth and career, there is opportunity, but is uncertain. In January, you better be very careful and don't overcommit. In terms of relationships, self-reflection dominates. People reassess their connections, relationships. They set boundaries and expect loyalty. So overall, the first month of 2026, mental activity is very high. And if you plan and stay patient, you will be having advantage. Let's take a look at the first 5 months. You see a giant whale. It's a giant fish. This is sign of abundance, financial opportunity, and potential for wealth. But this fish consists of a small and broken short lines. That means wealth is possible, but involves uncertainty and fluctuation and comes with risk. Here I see a big white bird brings message of hope, freedom. There will be multiple paths to advancement, but all are difficult. They require effort. There is protection for you. If you wanted to achieve honor, integrity, and high reputation, you will be successful. You can achieve social standing. So financial opportunities are big and significant, but they are risky. And some individuals or entities can gain greatly, and some can face losses. I see social unrest, protests, and dissatisfaction. People rise up in Europe and specifically in Germany. There will be social tension in Europe, especially it escalates in the springtime. As we go further towards March, there are minor cracks in authority will be visible. That was about politics, but in terms of your wealth and career, whoever did planning, that pays off. If you achieved a high position, that would be solidified. Still, you need to refrain from impulsive actions. There will be minor conflicts in terms of relationships, and there will be a need for better communication to resolve these conflicts. Again, in terms of personal and individual energy, those who plan and move strategically, they will see openings of opportunities. And in terms of relationship, people question who they really trust and what they truly want. There's these white spaces above and below this fish. That means a guide and a protector and a moral force is present, and whoever pays attention to it can navigate this situation safely. Again, I reiterate that there are at least 3 narrow roads going upward. That means multiple paths to success, but it requires discipline. I see someone being honored and being held in high regard. Around June to August, I see more symbols of confusion, chaos, fights, and arguments. Politically, there will be chaos and abrupt changes. There will be some conflicts in people's relationships. Conflicts can escalate within organizations and unions. Contracts could be terminated. Relationships could be broken. There will be a literal ending. I see climax of emotional confrontation. Only a strong bond, a strong relationships survives. In terms of finance and jobs, some careers may accelerate and some other can collapse. I see this face of a sad but angry woman. This woman becomes central. Her influence stirred more unrest and emotional turbulence. I see a strong young man rises from her, hands up, and ready to challenge and defend and rebuild. There will be abrupt changes in jobs, investments, and projects. Politically and socially, I see leadership is tested and more public unrest. There will be negotiations and confrontations and compromise. And as we look at the second half of the year, I see this white rectangle like White House. It's house of authority, or the institution of power becomes central. And I see a dragon near it. Dragon brings drastic changes, transformative power. Focus will be on stability, on loyalty, and reliability. In terms of relationship, people search for emotional clarity, and in their partnership, they look for a long-term structure, and look for establishing a foundation for their relationship. I see new faces, new characters entering the scene. I see 2 men are negotiating, and they appear to be literal decision makers, could be political or business leaders, and trying to achieve an agreement. There is a tense energy, tense, decisive energy around them. And there is another man from the distance, shadow of another man alone in the distance. He either represents an isolated power or some hidden influence, and could be someone who is behind the scene maneuvering. In terms of wealth and career, deal that you make at this time will have long-term consequences. And in terms of relationship, decision is made around commitment, and everything could become practical. Around October and November, there will be some power moves. The 2 men negotiating, they finalize key agreements, and the choices they make will shape the political policy and economic directions of the society. It looks like around this time, the energy of the collective will be more controlled. And when you think everything becomes quiet, I see drastic change. I see rise of Satan. It could mean corruption, manipulation, control, or abuse of power. could be some bad luck or misfortune, or could be an evil spirit and the devil itself. I see these figures, these innocent people raising their arms up, appealing for help. Could be some vulnerable group caught up in some misfortune, and could be some humanitarian crisis. And on the other hand, I see a stubborn power resist to change. I see this resilience with powerful strength. So late 2026 is dominated by a structural change, some kind of ethical crisis. And there will be some powerful actors resist and challenge this change. And in the midst of it, vulnerable population or perhaps some marginalized group, they seek help and attention. There will be some drastic, unprecedented event and revelations. There will be major transitions. There will be ethical and unethical challenges. In terms of individuals' relationships, it seems that only authentic partnership remain solid because hidden truth will be revealed. I see in the last quarter of 2026, there will be UFO sighting and some shocking or unexplained events surrounding that force the collective to pay attention. Finally, in December, I see a beautiful sunrise that promises hope, new beginning, and lessons learned. I see several dots and horizontal lines. These indicate incremental progress. So in politics, we saw drastic shifts and some moral reckoning, some leadership changes in terms of financial and career. Only ethical choices will be rewarded. Financial opportunities will be plenty. Make sure when you seize an opportunity, secure it. Otherwise, it would slip away. In terms of connections, only authentic and resilient relationships remain solid. And emotional and moral truth will be revealed. In terms of collective spiritual energy, people will be forced to navigate through chaos and face consequences for their actions and act decisively. By the end of the year, hope and clarity will come through after hardship. So what's the takeaway? I say the world might go through hell and be chaotic, but we, every one of us, as an individual soul, create our own reality. And we can choose to be on the highest vibration and remain on highest vibration. You might have heard of people who become rich or richer during a stock market crash, or those people in some cultures who walk on fire or burning coal and their feet remains unharmed. These people create their own reality. They believe their fate protects them, or they believe in themselves. No matter what is going on in their surroundings, the outside world can be anything but has no effect on them. They remain healthy, wealthy, happy, or anything they desire to be. So, knowing that, create your own reality, create your own heaven on earth. And all the ups and downs or upheavals in 2026 will not affect you. Sending you love, light, and all the blessings. Happy New Year to all, and till next time, bye.